Hey, Wizards! It is Kieran Gravehammer. I'm back for another exciting episode of the Death School walkthrough. We just started Azteca last episode, and we are ready to go. But you know what? We need to go ahead and do an update. We haven't talked about our gear or our stats or anything, so let's go ahead and do a quick update where we're at. Haven't done this for a while, so let's do this. We are at level 84. Wow. And we just started Safaria, so that means we'll probably easily be like level 90-something, 94, 95 by the time we finish Safaria going into Chrysalis. That's pretty strong. We are definitely over leveled. I've got like 13 training points right now, so plenty to pick up new spells. I'm stoked about that. Our damage right now for death is 98 plus 62 in onyxes, and I've got 78 on my storm, which is pretty awesome with all my storm pins and everything. I think that's great because Storm is my weaving school. There it is, weaving school. Resistance, 20 across the board, which is okay. 36, 25 on Storm, which is kind of nice. I got 12 accuracy and plus 5 on my accuracy, which is good, And of course, a lot of this is coming from the atavistic gear that I've got wearing, so it's nothing to be unhappy about. And then if we hop in over on our critical, 281 for death, 154 for storm. Nothing wrong about that. 192 block rating across the board. Armor piercing, 16 on my death, 7 on my storm, which is not so bad. No healing in and around, no stun resistance, but I don't need none of that. And then nothing over here. My power pips are at 80, Archmaster at 87. So that's where we're at stats-wise. Most of my gear right now is from the atavistic gear, if you've been watching, which is the craftable gear at the end of Celestia now. And I'm actually really happy about it because it really lets you customize for your weaving school, and it really wasn't that bad of a grind. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't that bad of a grind. Took a little bit of time, but not that bad. I've had to grind a lot worse in this game, so no worries. Okay, so looks like we need to get the ever broken axe, so we got to go defeat some Skull Moon zombies. So we have answered the call. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and start collecting these side quests. That way, in case I'm having to defeat the same people, I can double up on them. That's always a tip that I think is pretty good. If you're not a big side quester, but you like the benefits, grab all the side quests you can as you walk by them, because a lot of times you can double and triple dip on them with the main quest and what they're having you chase down and everything. So not bad. It depends on your flavor. It depends on how you like to play. Very good. Okay. So anyways, yes, so we are here in Azteca. 3 characters asked us for some help because there's big trouble. Morganth is moving in on the place and causing all sorts of trouble. We are in the longest single world in the game, so there is going to be, it's going to take us a bit to get through Azteca, so we're going to push through it. I like it, though. I think Azteca has always been a pretty cool world. I'll be honest with you, it's my favorite Second Dark world. I love the way it looks. I love the atmosphere. And I'm sorry, I still will say, until I'm done, is how can you beat dinosaur zombies that are all Aztec. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool. But yes, there is a lot of grind in this world. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think King's Isle could do a few things that would improve it. Okay? 1, change those defeat and collects to a little bit lower bar so you don't have as many to deal with all the time. Yep, that would be one thing. That would be really great. So instead of collect 3, collect 2, collect 1. I don't think it'll harm the game. I don't think it'll harm the storyline or anything. But I think for those who are questing through it, it would definitely make a difference, and it would make it probably more enjoyable because it is a long world, and doing little things like that would be good. Also, like when you have to go ahead and defeat so many of your opponents, it would be great if they would reduce it so you only have to defeat like 1 or 2 top. Yeah, 1 would be fine. 2 would be fine since you draw 2 guys most of the time. So, yeah, I think that would definitely be a bonus in which the game would not be a bad option. and it would make this arc, which is considered one of the toughest, grindiest arcs, a little bit more palatable to most people, you know. But I'm just saying. There we go. We will take one of these guys. Okay, so there we go. Finally getting into the action there. Did we get the axe? Crossing our fingers. No. See, this is the thing that gets people, is why do we have to collect 3? Just allow us to collect the axe. One fight, boom, move on. And this is what I think what ooh, we have not tried Avenging Fossil. We're going to try Avenging Fossil. Okay? It's going to take a bit to get all the pips, but I want to try the new spell. But anyways, going back to it, I think that's the biggest gripe. And it's not just here. It's really the entire second arc. So you could include Zafari in this, you include Avalon in this, and definitely parts of Chrysalis too. There is a ton of defeat and collects, or just straight up defeats, that if they just reduce the numbers, it would allow us to work through it a little bit quicker, and I think it would help reduce the grindiness of the feel of the world. That's just me. King's Isle, you know, hope you're listening. Always willing to give you those inputs to help make the game even better. Speaking of which, guys, if you haven't checked it out, you might consider checking out the Test Realm. Test Realm is still in swing. It's still open this week, so if you want to see the game as you're getting ready to roll out the new update and get some sneak peeks, you know, you can go ahead and go to King's Island, download the Test Realm browser, and head into it. You know, I think it'd be pretty awesome. You know, I'm not a Test Realm guy. I don't like this. I don't like checking out spoilers prior to that. So I'm just going to wait until it all hits, and then we'll go through it together here on the walkthrough. Definitely will be exploring it with my 2 veteran wizards for my walkthrough. My 3, actually. There we go. Wait a second. I thought that... Oh, it is an AoE, but it does a first hit big on the first guy, right? Ah, yes. So this would be a good boss attack. I can see why people would use this for boss. Bam! That's crushing, isn't it? And then the AoE to all of the minions. I see. Okay. But for these types of fights, I would say Avenging Fossil is probably not the primo choice. Each spell has a really good... what do you call it? Has a really good option when you take a look at it. You just got to decide which is the best option you can get out of it. Well, okay. Very good. Got it. Let's head back to Tezcat.
Well done, magician. There may be only one of you, but you seem very strong. Excelente. Let us return to the Zocalo so I can repair my volcanic axe.
Okay, to the Zocalo. Okay, so there we go. We have now found 2 of the 3 that requested us here. So let's talk to Tezcat and see what the deal is.
Much better to be breathing the fresh air up here, rather than the stink of the tombs that now pervades the cenote. The Shadow Queen sensed a ritual and tried to disrupt it. Her minions chased me into the maw and then sealed me in. Talk to Pakal Redmask. We need a new plan.
Okay, so back to Pakal. Well, we saved one of his partners.
You freed Tezcat Freestar. Well done, young magician. When the Shadow Queen struck at us, our third companion, Zaylin Reedwalker, was captured by her vile minions. A few people saw her dragged into the lower chambers of the Pyramid of the Black Sun. Can you enter the pyramid and rescue her?
Okay, big fight. Let's go check it out. Pyramid of the Black Sun. I guess that's the pyramid that's straight ahead. That works for me. Let's grab that health wisp right there. But not the main building. Yeah, the side entrance. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so looks like we are about to save number 3, and they're the ones who are going to give us the plan. So, some of you guys might say, just how big is Azteca? Well, let's give you an idea on exactly what we're talking about here. So, for instance, let's just talk about the worlds up to this. So, for instance, you know, if we are talking about... if we're talking about Zafaria, we're talking 148 quests, right? 148 quests in Zafaria. But then, Avalon bumped it up when they did Avalon. 161 quests. But King Zal was kind of thinking, wow, we can do you one better. And so then they went to Azteca. And Azteca, let me tell you, Azteca takes it all the way up to 197 main quests. 197. Largest world out there. And here's why I always go with this. Is Chrysalis, the next world up after this, is 277 quests, but it's a double world. It was split up into 2 releases as 2 worlds, even though a lot of people consider it one world. So when you add up the main quest lines for 2 worlds, it's actually less than this. Azteca is the longest world in the game. And you know, when you really get into it, you start to learn that, you know, people either love it or hate it. You know, now I'll be honest with you. I think most of the derision doesn't come from the world itself, doesn't come from the storyline necessarily, or the characters, or the models, or just the idea of the dinosaurs and everything. Nah, I think the concepts are fantastic. I think the storyline's awesome. I think what people get tired of is just the grind. Yep, it's a long, grindy world with some really tough boss fights and some really tough fights in general. Yeah, it can get kind of squirrely. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, this can be a really challenging world. You know, so Kingza, when they were when they were growing the game, right? If you really look at how they did things, is, you know, when they were first starting off, they came up with this great pip system, you know, and they were developing basically a card game, you know, which is what we play, and then everybody knows that. And so they came up with these different schools. They gave each school a kind of focus, which they're getting back to. I'm pretty happy about, especially with the new weaving and everything. But most of the spells would focus in one direction. You'd have certain strengths and weaknesses per school. And if you got really good at it, you could really get a lot of things done, you know. And each school had its own particular playstyle, of course, before the metas came. But then when they started expanding the worlds beyond the first arc, what they had to do is they were working on making it more challenging. So they would add bigger pip spells. They would add bosses with more health. They would add more attacking you at one time. They would start working on dungeon mechanics. They start adding cheating bosses. All the things that we all incorporate with, higher level play in the game. The biggest challenge that they added with Azteca, because they had the cheating bosses by this point, they had high health, is Azteca, they continue to increase the health of the bosses, but then they start giving us dual bosses. So instead of fighting one big boss with a minion or a couple minions, or these guys are scum, you would be fighting double bosses of opposite schools. So if you were one of those schools, it became really challenging. I can remember having the hardest time with the Storm and Myth pair bosses with my Myth guy. Oh, these mobs are wearing me out. Look at these guys. Very cool. And so, yep, that was where they took this particular world in as far as difficulty. And then, you got Shadow Pips, and then they started struggling in the third arc on how to make things difficult. And so that's when a lot of the big changes in the game started occurring, which was, I would say, about 5 years ago now, where they really started adjusting spells, start adjusting the game and stats for growth. Like, where does the game go after this? How does the play styles change? How can they keep it interesting for old players and new players? And honestly, I think with the spell weaving and some of the big changes that they've made, I think they're really, really positive. They're really starting to push some players out to rethink how they play. Like especially once they started doing the special gear like at Waterworks, and then when they added the level 30 gear with the Zeus gear, and especially like with Darkmoor gear, and then later the Dragoon gear, there was this meta in the game that people got really focused on, to the point where almost every wizard did exactly the same thing, got the exact same gear, played the game exactly the same way. And I'll be honest with you, I was never a big fan of that. I mean, I understood it, but I'm so glad that KingsIsle started looking at that and thinking, how can we develop this game so that it's not held hostage by a particular meta by certain people out there? Because let's be honest with you, YouTubers and people that push a certain meta, they're just trying to enjoy the game the way they want to enjoy it. But honestly, there's so many different ways to enjoy the game, and just because a certain group goes a certain direction doesn't mean that's the only way to play the game. That's why I kind of play the way I do, is I like to share my meta, which, is it really a meta? I don't know if it's really a meta, okay? But, my whole thoughts of playing the game and enjoying it all stem from learning the different play styles of the characters, getting the deck to play the way you want it, and taking up these challenges from these different types of bosses and things, and finding ways to really have fun with it. Like, for instance, the dual school that I did with my last wizard before the spell weaving came out was all focused on that, on how could you dual school, and what are some ways you could like dual school wizard all the way through the entire thing. What are some of the challenges with doing that, and what are some of the benefits? I am just not hitting this guy right. Jeez. Can't believe. Well, actually I can. Yep. I always forget. Whenever I start a new world, there's always a little bit of a challenge at the beginning as you're trying to figure out what's the best way to win. And, you forget that the bosses and things, even though their health doesn't look like it's all that different, they probably have some more resist. They probably have some more options that they didn't have last time we fought them. Or should we say last wizard, or should we say the world prior to this. So those are all things you got to think of when you're going into it. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now is these guys cast different types of spells. They have different types of resist, you know. And I have not increased my damage. In fact, I'm still working with about the same damage meta that I've had since, well, honestly, since Celestia. Because all the gear I'm wearing is still Celestian gear. It's just, you know, it's just a different option as opposed to going Waterworks or going Zigzag, which is some cool gear if you've never checked out the Zigzag gear, or going crafted gear from, say, from Winter Tusk, or actually there's like a third set of gear, as I recall. Is there? Well, I forget. Okay, this should probably finish this. There we go. So working the way through the game, you know, there's so many different ways to play it and have fun with it without like doing everything blade AoE all the time, you know, and coming up with other ways to play and looking at the characteristics of the different spells and trying to find the best time to use them and use them. You know, there's so many fun ways to play the game. So I encourage you, as you're exploring with your wizard, whether it's a death wizard or some other wizard, that you're finding ways to challenge yourself or to go. Like, I remember, I think I did a whole dungeon with just ghoul. That was kind of fun. Very good. Okay. Tower dungeons. That's the nice thing about death and tower dungeons is you can always make sure your health is good. Hey, there's nobody here to fight. Let's let her out.
What horror of the Shadow Queen are you? Wait, you don't carry her stench or the weight of darkness. Are you a magician of light? You are? Pakal sent you? Our summoning worked. By the black sun, I was sure I'd become a fossil in here. You'll need to duel Metzi Burning Water to get the key to my cage. She plots in the inner chamber.
Oh, never mind. You gotta go fight a boss. Well, we'll see. Maybe she's just elite.
What is this? A fresh scent of blood?
I love the dinosaurs' designs. Metzi Burning Water. Let's take her on. Okay, we're gonna save up a big hit here. I'm excited. First Aztecan boss. Good times. Okay. Ooh. You know what? Let's just go ahead and put that on her. Metzi Burning Water. Burning Water? Is that what it said? Interesting. Okay. Well, we're not going to use that. Let's go ahead and do this. Alrighty. Okay, we'll keep Scarecrow as a backup, but we're going to keep on loading up the hits. You know what? I'm probably just going to do Scarecrow because I don't want to die here. That's a spell you don't see often, is the electric version of an Oni. It's out there, just not one you see all that often. Alrighty. Yeah, you know what? This is probably the smart thing to do, is to go ahead and This might just finish him off, too. So let's see. 2 blades, a feint, and a trap. Yeah, we might be done here. Never mind, because... yeah. Dang it! That's freaking frustrating. Yeah, the big old sea serpent's going to knock out 2 of my blades before I can even use them. That's annoying. It's a good blade, too. At least I still have the 1 blade. Now, this is a good choice because we need a health backup, so... but I bet you with that other blade, we might have been able to finish her off. Okay. Well, that's annoying. I think we're just going to spam her a few times. Excellent. Don't need Stormlord, don't need that. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of this while we're waiting for the pips to ride on in. Ooh. Okay, we have Ghoul ready. Let's do Monster Mass first. This is always a bigger hit than I expect it to be. Very cool. Like I said, always bigger than I expected to be. Nothing wrong with that. Let's Ghoul him. Let's see if Ghoul will finish him off. And... ouch. Perfect.
I have failed the Shadow Queen. Take the cage key and shame me no more.
Very good, very good. Let's let Zaylin Reedwalker out of the cage.
Well fought, young magician. I could hear the sounds of your battle from here. You put Metzi Burning Water in her place. I will return to the Zocalo and speak to you and Pakal Red Mask there.
Okay, let's head to the Zocalo. Wow, we're level 85. Tell you what, the experience comes fast and furious in these main quest lines. I just knew this was probably going to be faster than climbing back out of the dungeon and everything. Well, let's grab this side quest. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I'm a big side quester person.
Excellent work, young magician. You freed the third of our triumvirate. You fly as high as any wild wing. When the Shadow Queen arrived on Azteca, none of us were prepared for the depths of her ambitions. Let us speak with Zaylin Reedwalker and ask her what she saw of the Shadow.
Zaylin. Well, let's go talk to Miss Reedwalker. Let's go.
The Shadow Queen's first act was to take over the Pyramid of the Black Sun. The Black Sun necromancers have long been entrusted with preparing our dead for proper burial. But now they have fallen into the Shadow Queen's web of corruption. Who knows what terrible secrets they taught her? Young magician, you have already proven yourself capable of tackling the Shadow Queen's forces. We need to investigate the central chamber of the Pyramid of the Black Sun and determine the Shadow Queen's true goals. Go search the pyramid. You'll have to get permission from the King's Guard, Acosta Hanging Moss.
Okay, so this will be the first king we have to deal with, Mr. Hanging Moss. We're going to go ahead and grab a couple of side quests right here. This is where they start the flower quests from Aloys Merryweather, is in this world. Pretty cool, because she'll ask you to search for flowers and stuff throughout other worlds in the spiral. I believe this is the first one she gives. Pretty cool stuff. The last two worlds gave you lots of other little side quests where you could pick up more training points and everything. I think it was the monks in the last one that did that tossed a lot for you, so that's pretty cool. Acosta Hanging Moss. Let's go find this Acosta Hanging Moss. Such a tall pyramid.
You, hairy and scaleless one, what are you doing here? The Pyramid of the Black Sun is closed to all on the King's order. To enter, you'll need to speak to the King directly, but you won't see an outsider on a whim. Befriend ep84 first.
Very good. And while we're up here, we're going to go ahead and grab the first of our UFOs. Now, let's go talk to Yakate Farwalker. Yep, he should be up here. Up, that was Yakate.
Ah, what have we here? Some kind of plucked bird? No, too hairy, but not enough for an old cat. Perhaps you are a hairless jaguar cub. You wish to see King Axaya Knife Moon? The new king? First of his name? The young ruler? The untested and the desperate? Axaya, son of Tizozumak. He who never ruled but was married to the princess of Totosli. Last and only child of Ilwikamina. The great king Ilwikamina, the Sky Archer, the Thunder Lizard, the ruler of the Triple Alliance, the tyrant of Azteca. You need a gift of Xochitl flowers for the king. Find them by the hot pools. Then go for a dip. You have an outsider smell. Once you have the gift and cleaned yourself up, then you can see the king.
Wow, sounds like a cheery guy. Okay, well, I'm not against a bath, Let's grab some flowers. And there we go. This looks like a nice pool. Ooh.
You must admit, washing away the grime of spiral door travel does make you feel better. And you smell very pretty now, too.
Yep. Like I said, nothing against a bath. Everybody needs a good cleaning from time to time. Definitely freshens you up. Alrighty. Now maybe he'll let us in.
Collect Xochitl flowers by the hot pools and go for a dip to wash away that strange outsider smell. Then you can see the king.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I have to continue on. There's the king, Axaya Knife Moon.
Who are you that brings a war challenge directly to the fangs of King Axaya Knife Moon?
I believe we were played.
And why do you smell so pretty? Do you wish to formally declare a challenge for the throne of Azteca?
That's nice.
Although you initiated a war challenge that could only result in one of our deaths, I will ignore it as you are an outsider.
There we go.
Perhaps next time you will take the time to learn about a new culture before you accidentally offend someone. However, you are just in time. I need someone like you, who can bully their way into strange and possibly hostile areas.
Oh, yeah, I'm good at that.
The royal badge of leadership was lost in Cenote when the Hungry Dead arose. Can you find it? I'd search the Trias Palace.
Okay, so, yeah. This tracks with how our conversations usually go with kings around here, or queens for that matter. Yep. You are lowly. Can't believe you're here. I got an idea. How about you go do something for me? Yep, totally tracks. Okay, well, let's go to the cenote. Yep, I'm familiar with the place. Grab some reagents on the way. Time to tangle with some more... Ooh, what do you call it? Zombies. Yeah. It's a zombie time. The Trias Palace. Oh, that must be over here.
It's clear a great battle was fought here recently. Wait, is that someone over there? She doesn't look like a zombie.
It's always nice to talk to non-zombies.
Please, can you help me?
Well, didn't see that coming.
If you can drive the Hungry Dead back, I'll never make it. The Thunderhorn zombies and Moonsoul zombies are both hungry.
Oh, here we go. Some defeat. Yeah, there's a lot of that around here. So Thunderhorns first, and then we'll go on to the next one. Oh, very good. I love all the different pyramids. I love the range and the way everything looks so differently all over the place. That's another part of the world that I like. So, yeah, we are now in my favorite second arc world. So when I'm talking about favorite worlds, what I do is I split them up into which arcs, because I think each world has what I would call well, I'm just going to say my favorite. You know, by tiering them out, you know, I don't know if I fully subscribe to that, because that's just opinion anyways, right? You know, so ranking them, I guess that's the same as just as tiering them out. So yeah, if I was to rank them, if I was to rank the worlds, let me know if you think that would be a video you'd want to watch. Maybe I could make a tier ranking of the videos, of the worlds. I've thought about it, and definitely my take would probably be different than a lot of them. But it could be interesting. You might like my opinions. But I'll just tell you right now, Azteca's my favorite second arc world. It has fun storylines, great characters. I'm stunned, aren't I? Yes. Great designs. It feels really fleshed out and full. The background decorations, the models and everything that they use. I really think it's like one of the peak design worlds, just like the last two we went through. Really, the last three, all the worlds in Arc 2 are so well designed and so well thought out. The storylines, I think, are fun. Again, yeah, like a lot of things, you know, they can go a little long with some of the questing, especially from Zavaria on. Lots of mainline quests. But you know what? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Definitely, I think they could improve it, you know, and it wouldn't be that hard for them to do. But definitely not that good. So yeah, Azteca.
You now have all of the pages.
Probably not a popular opinion, but definitely my favorite second arc world. What's my favorite first arc world? Well, if you've ever watched any of my channels, then you know what the answer to that is. My favorite first arc world is and always will be Marleybone. The combination of storylines, the combination of the world, the combination of the steampunkiness of it all combines to create probably one of the most endearing worlds the Spiral has ever had. Now, do I have favorite third arc and fourth arc worlds? Absolutely. And will I have a favorite fifth arc world? I am so excited to see what the fifth arc brings along, to which worlds we'll get to go and explore and what they have plans for. I cannot wait to see that storyline unfold as we continue to play the game and stuff. And hopefully you guys are excited about it as well. Okay, still waiting for the magic. Okay, finally got my guy. Let's get these guys done. Wow. Eventually, I'm going to get these guys the first time around. There we go. Got it. There we go. Got him knocked down. So hopefully that'll give Black-Eyed Flower over here, Ixley, Black-Eyed Flower, a chance to get out of here. Let's talk.
You duel Hungry Dead like you were trained in the Pyramid of the Black Sun. You've bought me a little time. Can you find some of the glowing Isar mushrooms? You can find some near the dwellings.
Sure. Let's go ahead and grab those. Love it. Starting to collect that Avenging Fossil stuff. And here's some of the dwellings. There we go. Knew it. Oh, look at that. Side quests abound.
Be careful.
Let's get some more of the glowing mushrooms.
Please rid the area of some of the Thunderhorn zombies so that I might make my escape.
See what I mean? Side questing combinations. Thunderhorn zombies. I hate. Yep. But at least they're zombies. At least you're not trying to make the rhinos go extinct. There we go. Got the mushrooms. Yes, if I would have run over here to do that first, I could have double dipped the Thunderhorn zombie attacks. Yeah, that's why I always collect them. So that can sit in my back pocket until we fight those again.
You found some. These have strong healing properties. Thank you. You were sent here to look for the badge of leadership? Of course! King Axaya's rule is imperiled without it. Our last king, Akampi Ritvis, still wore the badge when he was dragged off by the Hungry Dead into the mines. You'll need to delve into the deepest mines to find Akampi Ritvis and recover the badge of leadership. I believe King Akampi Ritvis was killed by the Hungry Dead, but no one knows for certain.
Fantastic. But you know what? We're going to have to wait until next episode. So next episode, we're going to go further into the mines, find the badge of leadership, and defeat, I guess, another undead king. Oh, this is Kieran Gravehammer for the Death School walkthrough. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you later. Bye-bye.